welcome back to our show here. We want to get back to you with a short conversation. We call it the flight gossip. It's about turbulences in inverted commas on the flight. All in all, I think we had a real great flight. Yeah, it was a practically empty plane. In our area, we were flying economy.
And we were already saying that this is our Air Force One.
Yes, we called it Air Force One because in our section maybe we were 10 passengers and maybe 4 or 5 stewardesses. So that was really nice.
It was a peaceful flight right until we have 2 turbulences stories to tell you. Almost a fairy tale like, but it's a gossip's corner. It started right from Frankfurt Airport.
We observed a situation where one young chap, or let's say in the 20s, was very excited.
He's from Hamburg.
And he seemed very excited about getting his luggage, getting ready for the flight. It looks like he had a lot of questions and demands, and everybody was excited on the counter. In the end, it was all settled. On the plane later, we get to see him again, yeah, and we knew he had a business class flight for whatever reason. But before we took off, he already came into the economy area and was discussing with the stewardess and say it looks like he needed to change his seat, and he was not very happy in the business class.
No, he wants
section.
to change the seat.
Correct, and he seemed to object and didn't like that somebody was sneezing in there, and a person nearby, obviously, for him. So practically asked to come to our economy section, which sounded very funny because we had a lot of space and a lot of peace there.
Yeah, but he was not happy that he has to change from a more expensive flight to a lower price seat.
I think he expected to have his business class amenities in the economy class. So this chap made the whole crew
turned upside down.
Because he seemed to be really unhappy about it. That he lost, in inverted comma, his business class seat. But anyway, it was his choice. We understand it, but we can't really help him with that. Yeah, so that was funny to observe. That's the first story. And
then he at one point he was really queer because he was using one cabin restroom, and the minute he came out, he jumped to the next cabin restroom and right opposite, and I was like, he's jumping from one restroom to another on board? It sounds really, really bizarre. Probably he just want to make sure the stewardess work a little bit more.
Yes.
That was the first turbulent.
Basically, a lady from
Singapore, which is also embarrassing my race.
She was sitting right behind us, and she wanted to change her seat.
To premium seats.
To the premium. But the stewardesses seemed not to be approving it.
Yeah.
Just even though the plane was empty,
right?
They didn't really like it that we moved seats, and especially in a higher category seat. So she was really not very cooperative. So
that the stewardess explained to her she was in disbelief, and the ground staff has to come up to ascertain the explanation so that she would be in belief, that she would believe. And still she made a lot of noise, and the ground staff managed to sort of brush it off, and that she went back to her seat, and the ground staff back to the ground work, and that the stewardess can get settled in so that we can taxi on the runway to start flying. That was only 2 turbulences before we took off. Everything else was really smooth, and we had a great flight. Much better than all the other experiences in the past. Simply because we have less passengers on board, and I think they really took well care of us. Yeah, that's all we want to... Very nice stewardesses we have. That's all we have to gossip about the flight. Yeah, we will think of some more stories. We are now chucked in our hotel room, and we have another 10 more days to share with you. Keep up the good mood, and see you soon.